أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers, dear sisters, respected elderly, respected scholars, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of Masjid Ahlillbait, Second Gen, and Shayani Haidari, it gives me great privilege and honor to welcome you all here today, and a huge welcome to our esteemed Sheikh as well. We'll introduce him shortly, inshallah. I won't take up too much time. We'll start off, of course, with the beautiful recitation of Quran with Brother Mustafa Diwani. Welcome him with a loud salawat.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إنك من أدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. فاستجبنا لهم ربهم أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى بعضكم من بعض فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيلي وقاتلوا وقتلوا لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلنهم جنات لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلنهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
باي باي.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Bless you very much, brother, for that beautiful recitation and for the barakah of him and his family and other salawat. So for those just joining us, welcome. It's a pleasure to see so many familiar and so many new faces. To our esteemed Sayyid who's joined us recently to Montreal, welcome. It's a blessing to have you with us. I won't take up too much of your time. I'm sure you're all here to hear from Sheikh Nuru, who is an absolute gem to hear from. So inshallah, you will see that shortly. Before I start, I'd just like to remind you that there are refreshments outside. If you are going to take water, please make sure not to be wasteful, but please help yourself at any time. After the lecture, inshallah, we'll have a short question and answer session with the Sheikh. We will also post out a link if anyone would like to do that. We'll also have the microphone going around if you would like to ask him any questions. For those of you that don't know about Sheikh Nuru is actually the current resident scholar of an organization in Birmingham, in England. And he holds a bachelor's in Islamic philosophy and mysticism from Al-Mustafa International University in Iran. And he obtained a master's in Islamic studies at Middlesex University in England. He is a former visiting lecturer from the Tangaza University College in Nairobi. And he is also a qualified civil and commercial mediator. So that might come in handy if you have any questions later. Without much ado, please join me in welcoming the Sheikh with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thanks. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجه. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الغر الميامين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صل على محمد وعلى محمد. يقول الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. For the purification of our hearts and hastening of the reappearance of our beloved the 12th Imam, with the loudest of our voices, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. First of all, my dear brothers and sisters, is to thank Almighty Allah for giving me this wonderful moment to have this very important discussion, and thereafter, inshallah, open for your questions. Before I begin with the main lecture, kindly allow me to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt condolences to the Imam of our time and to each and every one of you, lovers and the followers of Ahlillbait, on the painful martyrdom of the Lady of Light, Sayyidah Fatima, Salamullahi alayha. The topic of discussion is a very important topic, and I believe each and every community is in need of this particular topic from time to time. You've all seen the topic. It is the role of THAQALAYN in building virtuous community. Now, the verse I've just quoted, have no doubt, is a known verse, if not to all of us, but to most of us here. Quran 49, verse number 10, Surah Al-Hujurat. Allah in this beautiful verse highlights that believers are brothers or sisters of one another. Now, departing from this verse, our examination of tonight will be of the following three stages. The first stage, we will discuss the formation of a community. What led insan or human being to establish a community? It's important we understand why having a community. Second stage of my examination will look at the spirit of a community within the Holy Quran. And then the last stage of our examination will focus more on looking at the elements of a virtuous community. And then I will invite brothers and sisters to take some actions on how to ensure that our communities are in line with the teachings of the Holy Quran and that of our beloved prophets and Ahlillbait. So kindly, brothers, don't worry about the children. We're all used to that, don't worry. You pay attention and let them also have their majlis, inshallah. Kindly pay attention and let us try to take something out of this lecture or out of this majlis. So first stage of the examination, formation of a community. I and you know very well, when we talk of a community, most especially from the sociological perspective, community simply means people coming together under one rules and regulations to govern themselves. It may be in a city, it may be in a small town. So long as people come together under one umbrella, they are regarded as a community. So in this case, we all gathered here under one umbrella, under one banner, and that is the umbrella of the Ahlillbait. So we are all regarded as a community, regardless of your various community. At the end of the day, our main identity is Ahlillbait. But now question, what led insan to forming a community? I believe appreciating this question will help us try as much as we can, in whatever way possible, to ensure that our communities thrive. To understand the reason for the formation of a community, we need to ask ourselves this question: do I really need a community or not? Do we need a community or we don't need a community? There are three needs. First need is a natural need. Like our need for food and water is natural. Second type of a need is what they call compelling need. Haja iditarari. Like our need for medication. Sickness is not a natural thing. So once, may Allah forbid, a person becomes sick, you then become compelled to go for medication. The third need is what they call need by choice. It's like my need to wear a particular cloth. It's not natural to wear this particular cloth. I'm not compelled to wear this particular cloth. It's my choice. Now, to belong to a community, is it a natural need? Is it a compelling need? Or is it a need by choice? So we begin from bottom. If we say to belong or to have a community is a need by choice, then the implication is that we don't necessarily need to have a community. I can either go serve or not because it's by choice. But as per the traditions of the holy prophets, having sense of belonging to one's community is not by choice. Number two, having sense of belonging to one's community is not compelling need. It's a natural need to have a community. To have sense of belonging to your communities is something natural. It's like our need for food. It's like our need for water. In other words, there will be no insan without community. There will be no link with Allah without a community. It's like marriage. Marriage is a natural need. Likewise, having a community is a natural need. Why is having a community a natural need? It's simply because community responds to at least two fundamental natural needs in our lives. Kindly pay attention to this. You cannot do without having a community. Because community is in a position to respond to your natural needs. What's the first natural need? And Quran discusses it beautifully. Check chapter Az-Zukhruf, verse 32 discusses it. I need to belong to my community and have a sense of belonging to my community because my community is a platform to demonstrate my God-given talent. Each one of us here, we are blessed with certain talents. You have your talent. I have my talent. Our Maulana Sayyid has his own talent. You here, you have your own talent. Our children have their own talent. The only platform to demonstrate this God-given talent is your community. That's why Quran said, وَرَفَعَ بَعْضَكُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ دَرَجَاتٍ. Some of you are elevated over the others in terms of talent and expertise. Today, what is destroying us, Muslim communities and even Shia communities, is because we are not making good use of our talent and expertise. We are not making good use of the diversities we are blessed with by Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And so the first natural need that having sense of belonging to one's community provide us with is to demonstrate your God-given talent. You know, where you work, you get salaries. You are not demonstrating your talent. You're just working, and in return you get something. If there is no salary, you may stop working. But community here, what do? You volunteer, isn't it? That is demonstrating your God-given talent. So that's the first natural need a community takes care of. What's the second natural need? Very beautiful. Community provides us with peace of mind. I know I have my community to lean on when I'm faced with challenges. They are there for me. I am there for them. It provides us with a peace of mind. And you see, the Holy Quran beautifully discusses this. Surah Al-Ma'arij, verse 19. Inna al-insana khulika halu'a. That insan, human being, is created in haste. We are in hurry. Some say this halu'a is not just in hurry. We are created with fear. To overcome that fear, you need a sense of peace, a sense of tranquility. And a virtuous community provide us with that. And hence, Ahlillbait alayhim salatu, if we look at their lives, wherever they've been, the first thing they did was to ensure that people came together. Look at our own beloved prophets. When he moved to the holy city of Medina, the first thing he did was to unite between House and Hazaraj. Community spirit is crucial. Today, the challenges that we are all faced in this world, one of the best way to overcome those challenges is the unity amongst us. And before we unite with others, the unity has to begin with us, who say the legitimate successor of the Holy Prophet is Amirul Mu'minin. And so having sense of belonging to one's community provide us with peace of mind. I know if I come to Masjid Ahlillbait, regardless of where I'm coming from, either Shana Ali or the other organizations, I know I will find my brothers and sisters shoulder to shoulder in preparing the grounds for the reappearance of the 12th Imam. Now let me draw your attention to the second stage of my exam, which is the most important. And kindly I beg you, pay attention, brothers and sisters. I'll not take much of your time. The spirit of a community within the teachings of the Holy Quran. I'm going to share so many verses of the Quran with you. And inshallah, anything which is not clear, feel free during the question and answer session to throw it, inshallah. You see, when you go to Quran discusses communities in some details. But what Quran does is, Quran focuses on two main terminologies. One terminology is nafs, and the other terminology is ukhuwa. If you're Arabs here, nafs meaning self, and I will explain further. Ukhuwa, brotherhood or sisterhood, if you like. Now let's take nafs, and then later we come to brotherhood. When you go to the glorious Quran, you'll come across so many verses where Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala uses nafs, referring to different meanings altogether. But nafs and the general, nafs simply means hawiya, identity. Al-hawiya. So the first ayah I would like to draw your attention to, very important ayah, Al-Inshiqaq, verse 6. Sometimes Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala uses nafs and refers to personal identity. So this ayah in Shikak verse 6, Allah says, Ku anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Anfusakum, the word nafs. Protect, save yourselves and your families from the hellfire. So here the word nafs simply means your personal identity. And of course the identity of your loved ones. That's one. Sometimes no. Allah uses nafs and refers to two individuals who share a light or nur in common. I'm sure you know this ayah. Quran 3 verse 61. Anfusana wa anfusakum. فَمَنْ حَجَّكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ, you know the ayah. أَنفُسَنَا وَأَنفُسَكُمْ. أنفسنا nafs. Ourselves and yourselves. Obviously referring to Imam Amir al-Mu'minin and our beloved Prophet. That Ali is the self of the Prophet and Prophet is the self of Ali. Simply means what? They share one light in common. خُلِقْتُ أَنَا وَعَلِي مِنْ نُورٍ وَاحِدٍ. That's second meaning of nafs. That's not my point of interest. Please pay attention to this. Third meaning of nafs, sometimes no. Quran uses nafs and refers to husband and wife as the self of one another. Surah Al-Rum, verse 21. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. Amongst the signs of Allah, He created from yourself your mate. But He's referring to wife as the self of the husband, and husband as the self of the woman, or min jinsin wahid. They are from a human species. That's number 3. Sometimes no. Allah uses nafs and refer to people coming from the same tribe, kaum, nation, kabila. Surah At-Tawbah, verse 128. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Indeed, the messenger to come to you from yourselves. You are Arabs, he's an Arab. Min anfusikum. The last one is my point of interest. I know different communities are here, and it's so important we appreciate the spirit of a community within the teachings of the Holy Quran. It's what? Hawiyya diniya, religious identity. That any person, regardless of the background of the person, regardless of the status of the person, so long as you share religion and faith together, that person is yourself. Surah Al-Hujurat, verse number 11. It's a longer ayah, but there's a line there. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Allah in this ayah says, O people, believers, do not insult yourselves. Here, selves referring to your Muslim brother or your Muslim sister. In other words, when you abuse or insult your Muslim brother or your Muslim sister, you are abusing and insulting yourself. Meaning, any Shi'i brother and sister is your brother, is yourself. And it is only by appreciating this we are able to build a solid and healthy community for the reappearance of our beloved Imam. Otherwise, disunity destroys. Disunity damages. Who suffers more? The young children who are coming. So Islam invites us on a first level to be proud of our communities and to have a sense of belonging and to thrive and strive in ensuring that our community is ready for that absolute global social justice. Now look at the second terminology, ukhuwah, brotherhood. So on first level, Quran uses nafs. So that sister sitting to you, she's your nafs. Next to you, she's your nafs. That brother sitting to you, next to you, is your nafs. The one behind you, the one in front of you, they are all your nafs. Just appreciate that. When you appreciate that, it brings different energy. When it brings that energy, it increases your sense of belonging to one another and sense of belonging to community. You don't even wait for someone to invite to come and serve. You will rush to serve because it is the invitation of Almighty Allah. Ukhuwah, brotherhood. You see, Quran is a very interesting book. Uses this ukhuwah on numerous occasions. And of course, like nafs, refers to different meanings. The first one is a simple one. Your biological brother or your biological sister. Surah to Yusuf, verse 58. وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ Yusuf. Ikhwa, kalimat ikhwa. The brothers of Yusuf came. You know what? They are biological brothers. They are from same father or same mother. So ikhwa. That's one. That's common one. Sometimes no. You're not from same parent, but you are from same nation or same tribe. Allah will use ikhwa. Which ayah? Can anyone remember? The spider. Verse 36. وَإِلَى مَدْيَنَ أَخَاهُمْ شُعَيْبًا. There are the likes of that so many in the Quran. وَإِلَى مَدْيَنَ, we sent to the people of Madian their brother Shu'aib. Shu'aib is not like their biological brother, but Shu'aib is from that nation. So if you are, say, from Baghdad, for example, like Hajina, so you, those from Baghdad, you are what? You are brothers. Say so those from Basra, for example, those from India, Gujarati, you are brothers on this level. That's why you have your own sentence here and there, isn't it? But now look at the third one. Allah uses brother and refers to what? The one you share iman in common with. She's a Shia, she's your sister, that's it. He's a Shia, he's your brother, that's it. That's the beginning of the departure before any other organization. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. The ayah I quoted earlier on. You are a believer, he's a believer. You are a believer, she's a believer. We all say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Aliyun Waliyullah, we believers. Allah says, Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Indeed, believers are brothers, believers are sisters. This is the second stage. Now look at the third stage. The elements of a virtuous community within the religion of Islam. You see, brothers and sisters, our challenge in this day and age is not having a community. It's building a virtuous community. Otherwise, some of the communities are just ticking the boxes in life. Yes, we have a community, and so on. What's important are the virtues you are able to build in those communities. So let's begin looking at the elements or the features of a virtue community or virtuous, so that we can all strive to build that or ensure that we continue building virtuous community. Because you see, Islam, when it discusses we being brothers, we being sisters, Islam is not just discussing it for discussing sake. Islam invites us that, you see, that brother who is sitting next to you has certain rights over you. That sister who is sitting next to you, she has some rights over you. Failing to give the rights, we will all be questioned by Allah. And you know, the first right from the tradition of the prophets is to love for him what you love for yourself, isn't it? As simple as that. But today people are selfish. It's to love for him what you love for yourself. That's a simple one. And the second right, this as the traditions of Ahlillbait, is to have each other's back. It's your right and it is my right. To such an extent, the narration tells us, when a believer says to another believer, you are my enemy, if indeed that believer is not your enemy, you will die as a kafir. Allahu Akbar. This is Imam Jafar Sadiq in Wasa'il Shia, volume 12. Hadith 122. If you say to a Shi'i brother, a mu'min and a mu'mina, you are my enemy, if indeed the person is not, you die as a kafir. But look at the last part of the tradition. When you accuse a believer in Martha min kalbihi mother nur al-iman, the light of iman dissolves from the person's heart. These are some of the right we have towards one another. But now, what are the elements of a virtuous community? Number one, you need exceptional leaders. Not a leader. Not every president is a leader. But every leader can be a president. Not every chairman is a leader. But every leader can become a chairman. The fact that you are elected doesn't mean that you are a leader. Now let's come to the lowest level. The fact that you are a parent doesn't mean that you are a leader. You need to attain certain features to be qualified as a leader. So first element of a virtuous community is that that community has an exceptional leader. Question: who is an exceptional leader? Number one, that one who is charismatic. Charisma. What is to be charismatic? Is to be able to take a stand when there is a need for that. Number two, an exceptional leader is the one who understands his or her community. So when you serve your community, you don't give them what they are not affected with. You serve them and give them what you know for sure they are affected with. It means you are exceptional leader. And hence, Amirul Mu'min describes our beloved prophet. Kana tabib dawarun bitibbi. Prophet alayhi salam was a medical doctor who circulated with his medication. So an exceptional leader is someone who understands the needs of his community. That's very, very important. And the last feature of an exceptional leader is that he has obvious aims and objectives. So if you're a leader, your community should be able to know what are your aims and objectives. What are your plans? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? What do you want to achieve in the next 1 year? You cannot be a leader and your people do not know your aims and your objectives. So that's the first element, exceptional leader. Second element of a virtuous community is what? Exceptional followers. You can have an exceptional leader, but excuse my word, the followers, mashallah, they are in coma. So that will mean that the leader is still exceptional. And look at the lives of Ahlillbait alayhimu salatu wassalam. Our beloved prophet came, exceptional leader. Alhamdulillah, to some extent, prophet had exceptional followers. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin came, exceptional leader. To some extent, Imam had exceptional followers. Maysamut Tammar, Kumayl ibn Ziyad al-Nakhai, Hujr ibn Adi al-Kindi, you name them. Imam Hassan came, exceptional leader without exceptional followers. So you cannot say, Na'udhu Billah, Imam Hassan is a failure. No, people are the failures. So, in many cases, people, what they do know, the leaders are bad. Okay, are you good? It's two-way traffic. It's not one-way traffic. So the second feature of a virtuous community is that need exceptional followers. And that's why Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam teaches us, isn't it? That I've not seen companions like mine. We all say 72, 72. It's true. It's true, 72. Why? Because they were exceptional. So in a community like this community, or the community of Montreal in general, as Shias, you need exceptional leaders, but you need exceptional followers. Otherwise, there will be no success. Otherwise, there will be struggles. So that's number 2. Let's go to the third element of a virtuous community. Very important. Third element is love for God. Whatever we do, God has to be central to it. Without God, it's a waste of time. You see, our origin is God, and our destination is God. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We all descended from Allah, and we are ascending to Allah. Minallahi ilallah. So a virtuous community is a community where people compete in a positive way when it comes to establishing the love of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. So when there is Allah's love, there is ikhlas. When there is Allah's love, it doesn't matter who says what. I represent Ahlillbait. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. And that's why Imam al-Hussein taught us in that famous dua, Arafah. What has he found who has lost you? And what has he lost who has found you? So third element is God. Let's go to the fourth element. You know, my dear brothers and sisters, fourth element is to have a big heart. And I'll give you examples of Ahlillbait. You cannot claim one's community to be a virtuous one when leadership or the members of that community don't have a big heart. Big heart doesn't mean dishing out money. No, that's not a big heart. That's maybe a wing or a manifestation of having a big heart. What does it mean to say having a big heart? Forgiving heart. Not holding grudges. Forgiving heart. You see, one of the titles of Imam Hassan alayhi salam is what? Kareemu Ahlillbait. What is the meaning of Kareem Ahlillbait? It's not because he gave money. Yes, he gave. He divided his money how many times he gave. But Kareemu Ahlillbait simply means what? Imam Hassan alayhi salam sacrificed his social status for the bigger picture. When he got into that peace treaty with Muawiyah. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam said, La usalimanna ma salimat umur al-Muslimin. Amir said what? I will be in peace with anyone so long as the affairs of the ummah is in peace. So each and every member of a community who aspire to have a virtuous community, you need to have a big heart. You need to forgive. Abu Abdullah alayhi salam welcomed how many people? We are told in the tradition on the 10th day of Muharram, 30 people from that side to his side. It's not only Hur, but Hur is the embodiment of that. 30 came and he forgave them. Today you go to certain communities, I don't know here, this one not talking to that one, that one not talking to that one, that one wishes that one to fall down, that one wishes that one not to prosper, that organization don't want this one to prosper, this one don't want that one to prosper. It means we will never and ever be able to build a virtuous community. So we need a big Quran said, فَاصْفَحِ الصَّفْحَ الْجَمِيلِ. It's the Quran. Quran is don't just forgive, but forgive in a beautiful way. In a beautiful way. As-Saf al-Jamil, Quran says. You know Arabic, but that's number 4. Let's go to the 5th element of a virtuous community. Allahu Akbar. Ijtinabul khusuma. Staying away from unnecessary arguments. Argument will be there, debate will be there. But avoid a debate which will take you to the level of animosity. And you have a tradition from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam beautifully. Imam said, Iyyakum wal khusuma. One said, Iyyakum wal mara wal khusuma. Hey, be careful of unnecessary argument. Why? فَإِنَّهُمَا يُمَرِّدَانِ الْقَلْبَ وَيُنْبِتْ عَلَيْهِمَا النِّفَاقَ. Allahu Akbar. Imam Jafar said, when I argue with you ta'annutan, you understand ta'annut? I want to show off I'm better than you. I want to show you are too little. Your community is not organized. Mine is more organized. I just want to show off. Imam said, hey, be careful. Why? Because it sickens the heart. And it plants hypocrisy in the heart of that person. So let's try to avoid that. The next element, which is number 6, of a virtuous community, my dear brothers and sisters, is to stay in touch with one another. Have to stay in touch. If you have, so I don't know how many organizations you have here. You need to, from time to time, have one big program together. Stay in touch. Say this here, we have scholars here, narration tells us. Any mu'min who stays away from the other believer for a period of 3 days, of course, based on animosity, if the one of them die, both of them will go to hellfire. That's a tradition. Sayyidina Mawjood is a ulama here. 3 days. But of course, if there's no problem, it's just that we're not able to keep in touch. But that positive thinking about one another is always there, and there's no problem. But it's because I want to show I'm better. You want to show you are better. And because of that, we don't see eye to eye. It becomes a problem then. And then the next element, which is the 7th one, is what? It's not to expose each other's faults. Just deal with it justly, no problem. But don't go out there exposing my fault and your fault. And tradition tells us, whoever goes out finding fault in others with the aim of exposing others to that fault, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will expose the fault of that person to the world and to his or her family. It's so important, my dear brothers and sisters. And then the 8th element, they support one another. They support. You cannot see a Shi'i struggling and you fold your arms. Wallahu fi awni al-abdi ma dama al-abdu fi awni akhi. Allah assists his servant so long as the servant assists Allah's servant. Quran, where the Holy Prophet tells us, Irhamu man fil ardi, yarhamukum man fis sama. Show mercy unto those on earth. The one in heaven will show mercy unto you. Last element, they strive for knowledge. You cannot be, in fact, before you even come to being a virtuous community, you cannot be a true Shia if in a community no classes. It is open just once a week or twice a week. No class. Knowledge is everything. And today, you know, our biggest problem is what? compound ignorance. You know, Amirul Mu'minin teaches us people of knowledge are of two types, and ignorance are also of two types. He said, people of knowledge, the first one is what? They know, and they know that they know. They have the knowledge, and they know that they have the knowledge. They're humble about the knowledge. That's fine, isn't it? Second group of knowledge, you said, they know, but they don't know that they know. That's okay, no problem. They know, they are humble. No big deal. But look at the ignorance. He said the first form of ignorance is what? They don't know, and they know that they don't know. Finish, no big deal. Kusha. This is Swahili. Kusha made him finish over. But look at the second one. They don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. Today, that is what is killing us. So a virtuous community, people strive for knowledge. You see, what we do on Member is a form of knowledge, but it doesn't give details of things. Member is excellent. It gives general guidance. You must have classes. You must have classes. Without knowledge, you cannot tell me you are building a virtuous community. And last but certainly not the least, they seek divine intervention in whatever they do. So I leave you with this last line. You look at the world today. I want to just pay attention to this, and I'm done. Look at the world today. We have imminent threats as Muslims, as Shias, as human beings. And the biggest headache is with those who have children. Will my children remain in Islam in the next 30 years or not? Think about it. I'm talking to you now as a parent also. You see, today we are all sitting here, alhamdulillah. Can any one of you guarantee the next 30 years our children will do the same? We hope. We hope. It's a imminent threat. No, they will still remain Muslims and Shias, but will they practice the way we are practicing? The only way to ensure that is to build a strong, virtuous community. So that's the challenge of all of us here. You need to leave an excellent legacy. I and you, we are okay. Children, we don't know. That's why this topic is so important, and I look forward to your questions. That's the aim, that's the essence, that's the secret of building a virtuous community. Because you're going to leave a legacy behind, so that when these young children grow, they will toe the line and they will take it to the next level. MashaAllah. But if you don't build a virtuous one, they're going to struggle and they will find it difficult. So remember, my dear brothers and sisters, each one of us has a role to play. Don't fold your arms. See what you can do within the community. Is it Quran you're going to recite as Haji recited beautifully? Is it funds you're going to solicit for your community? Is it class you're going to teach? Do something. Wallahi, I'm telling you out of my experience. And I'm sure most of you here, those who know me, you know me, I wasn't born a Shia. I wasn't. I struggle. When I talk about this, I become emotional. And when I see people who were born Shias, sometimes, I'm not saying here because I don't know Montreal, are not serious in maintaining that Islamic identity within their communities, I get emotional. Because when I became a Shia, I was deprived of food for 3 months to 6 months. I had no place to sleep. I was sleeping on the street until I got stomach ulcer. I was young. One point I said to myself, leave it, man. Why are you stressing yourself? And I would say, Allah help me. So you are lucky. Wallahi, you are lucky. You have beautiful centers. You have resources. You have scholars. Take advantage of that. Build your legacies before your time is up to depart from this world. Last night I gave a majlis in Toronto, and I said to them, you all know Sayyid as a Jafari. He had a lot of plans. Where is he? Gone. He will never come back. Finish. When I was going to Toronto, he called me. He said, I want to have a program with you at a Sadiq. He was a friend. He had a plan. So there is no time. And the only precious thing we have, if you ask me, is our communities. Build the community, serve children, serve youth, and leave the best of legacies for them. And so please, brothers and sisters, we have so many youth sitting here. This is the final point. Because Maulana, they keep saying final and they keep going. But this is my final point. Youth. You've got two features. And that has to be seen in a virtuous community. A youth is someone who is productive and creative. That's a psychological definition of a youth. You cannot be a youth if you're not productive and creative. So the elders give the youth opportunities. Let their talents get manifested and guide them. And with that, inshallah, Allah will help. And Allah will intervene on our behalf. And the Imams of Ahlillbait will intervene. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
For the continued health and barakah for the Sheikh, a second salawat. Allah.
صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
And for the blessings for all of those who participated in making this happen, a third salawat with the loudest of voices.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل.
Sheikhna, if you don't mind. So we'll.
Where do I sit for the question?
You look great up there, if you don't
No,
mind.
maybe a chair here better.
Okay.
Or even I can sit here, no one. Remember this stuff.
So inshallah, the microphone will be coming around if you have any questions. I did post out a link on the second gen WhatsApp group. If you don't have that, please see Sister Zainab or myself on the ladies' side, Brother Akram or Brother Ahmed Najjar, if you can wave Brother Ahmed Najjar at the back, if you want to join and see those questions. Otherwise, please just raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone around, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Was beautiful. Actually, the uniting a community, it is starting from the top, going down, not by aggregating different groups within the same community, and everybody leader bring his group to himself or to his establishment. And also, in the end, we come to the root of uniting the communities, which helping each other, not just to show off. I help Zaid or Amr from the people just to show up, to see me. The people see me. I did this for these people because they are powerful. But if we refer to Quran, وَيَطْعُمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ, they didn't give to leader of Quraysh, they didn't give to the rich of Muslims, they give it to miskin and yatim and asir, the lowest part of the community. Lowest, I mean financially, not believing. So sometime, if we want to be really strong, and as you mentioned, brother, to help each other, not to for show up, or because this is, I know him, I know his father or him, he is strong in the community. If I did something for him, I will be strong also. What about the people who don't have people? What about the people who is poor? They don't know nobody, and they are from the community. And the other challenges the community is facing here, there's a lot of challenges. We need, as doctors or engineers or merchants, we need. So if we don't find it in the community, we're looking it outside, from exterior. So please give the comments from this question.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hajina. This is definitely a very important comment you've just made. And the Holy Quran makes it very clear, really. When it comes to unity, we have different forms of unity. The first unity, it is called political unity. And I'll explain to you what political unity is all about. Don't look at politics in a literal sense. And then, of course, the second unity they call religious unity. So political unity, it emanates from the ayah, وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. Prepare for them whatever you are able to of your strength. But it has three manifestations. The first one, قُوَّةُ التَّفْقِيرِ. How many doctors do you have? How many engineers do you have? How many nurses do you have? Do you, as a community, know how many doctors you have? قوة التفكير. You know, the expertise you have to bring them together. It's so important. Others are doing, why not us? You need to have a directory of your community. Yes, you have different communities for everybody, but be mindful of what you can do together also. So that's one. That's first element, your expertise. Second element is quwwa ijtimai. That's social cohesion, that unity. Let's get together. Maybe in a year we can have a sports together. Why not? We can have a quiz together. We can have a debate together. Everybody's doing this program. That's okay. But then there must be from time to time where we come together. And I'm sharing this with you from my own personal experience where I'm coming from. So I'm coming from, we have 6 centers. So what we do every year, we have 3 programs together. And the aim is to bring everybody under one umbrella. And of course, we have only one Juma where I'm coming because the distance is, so we have one Juma also. So you have your Pakistanis, your Arabs, everybody can, we have one Juma. So that Quwwa Ijtima'i is very, very important. Because when the world look at you, they will not say that Shia, that one. They either say Shias or Muslims. And the challenge out there is not that small challenges, Habibi. Challenge of identity crisis, gender crisis. It's not a joke. That's why I mentioned about children. These children are born in a separate time as per the tradition of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And we cannot expect ourselves to upbring them the way we were brought up. And so that's very, very important. And the last manifestation of that political unity is Quwwa Maddi. Pull your resources together. Yes, you've got your resources in your community, fine. That particular, no problem. But then from time to time, pull your resources together. What is it that you can do to help members of our community to thrive as lovers and the followers of Ahlillbait. And of course, religious unity, as I said earlier on, we come together like tonight, like this, from time to time, we have programs like that, to ensure that the spirit of togetherness is there. So I definitely agree with you, Hajina. And inshallah, Allah will help and we will thrive, inshallah. Ahsantum. Next question.
Thank you. I'm going to take one from the internet. Please feel free, if you're not confident or you're a bit shy, please feel free to use the link. Sheikhna, first of all, absolutely phenomenal lecture. Thank you. So that someone sent that in. How do we encourage parents to bring their kids to Islamic classes that align with the Shia teachings?
Ahsantum.
And this is from a teacher at one of the Islamic schools here.
Oh, lovely. So you see, I know there are so many parents here. So I'm going to mention something which I think if we can reflect on, it will help a lot. This from the philosophical perspective, philosophy. In philosophy, Islamic philosophy, every single person is made up of two existences. So you're one person, but so your existence has two wings. The first one is physical existence. 50 years, 100 years you're going to do. Say that's a Jafari, 48 years. That's your physical existence. So each and every one of us has physical existence. How many years? 100, 200, Allah Allah. Now the other existence is the most important one. They call it very, very important. Look at this, brothers and sisters. Recognized existence. Wujudun etibari. It's a philosophy. What is recognized existence? Whatever you are able to achieve out of the number of years given to you by Allah. So now you are 50 years. What have you achieved in life? I'm not talking of money alone. I'm not talking of education alone. Religiously, what have you achieved? The highest form of recognized existence are our children. Yes, you may be remembered because of your money. Okay, you may be remembered because of certain things in the community. But if there is one particular thing that you will be remembered more with, children. Think about it. You can be the best person in the community in terms of taqwa, akhlaq, salat. But if you fail to raise a good child after your departure from this world, may Allah forbid, the moment people see your sons and daughters, may Allah forbid, misbehaving, the first thing that comes to mind, the father and the mother. Imam Zain al-Abidin tells us in his Al-Hukuk, remember me, our children are our extension. In the goodness of this world and in the evilness of this world. Our children are our extension. So how do we encourage parents to take their children to religious or Islamic education madrasa? Baba, this is the first thing we need to think of. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Each one of you, like a shepherd, you'll be questioned of what Allah is giving you to look after on the day of Qiyamah. Islamic education is crucial. Our children go to school 5 days in a week. Only Saturday or Sunday for a few hours. Habibi, if you don't do that, then you've lost it. So remember, my mother, my father, if you fail to take your sons and daughters to madrasa, you are doing disservice to the cause of Ahlillbait. And wallah, you will chew your finger when you become old or on the day of Qiyamah. Sayyidah Fatima, we are in Ayami Fatimiyah. Imam Hassan and Hussein, they are infallibles. But she used to send them to the Mosque of the Prophet. Go sit where Wahy, revelation, is being recited. This even after the departure of the Holy Prophet from this world. Go sit where Quran is being taught and be recited. And when they would go back home, she would ask them, repeat what you heard. Of course they knew, but they wanted to teach us. Ahlillbait alayhimus salam employed teachers to teach their children. Read the biographies of Ahlillbait, especially Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So Islamic education, Habib, is crucial. It's important. So parents realize that. Remind them of Ahlillbait and how Ahlillbait encourage parents to take their children to Islamic education. And one thing to add here, parents. You see, upbringing is very difficult. In this day and age, the best form of upbringing is at-tarbiyatu ghayr mubashir. Upbringing in an indirect way. What is upbringing in indirect way? Any parent who understands this will make sure madrasa is a priority. So I'm talking as a parent, young children. Indirect upbringing is what? You upbring them through your actions, not through words of mouth. Words of mouth doesn't work too much. Quran, let them see you reciting Quran. It's easy for them to follow. But Baba, you telling them Quran, you music. Quran music. From Majlis music in the car with the children. Which means you not lead them by example. So send them to madrasa. You also go learn. Then when they come, you become their teacher for tuition when it comes to madrasa. So upbringing in an indirect way is crucial. And lastly, we as parents, we need to be steps ahead of our children. So to be steps ahead of your children, you need to understand the challenges your children are faced with. Any parent who understands the challenges of his children will not miss madrasa. I know it's Saturday or Sunday, you want to chill, you want to relax, you want to enjoy family day, shopping for family. I know. But madrasa is number one. They go to their Western education. In that field, there are no Islamic teachings there. This is the only way to guarantee that they continue with the love of Ahlillbait. So please, parents, these children are ma'asumin, they are infallibles. Don't miss the opportunity to instill Allah, Prophet, Ahlillbait, and Quran, inshallah. Alaikum salam to Allah, Habibi. Yeah, I think it's working, man. A little bit. Okay, never mind, bro. Thank you so much. Yes.
So, where do you find the balance between other tasks you have, for example, your studies or your family, and involved in it?
Lovely, lovely. I think that's a very powerful question. Because obviously, we do have these burnouts. You know, sometimes you get burnout because life is too fast. We live in a very complex world, very sophisticated world. You need to study, you need to make some money, you know, with the cost of living skyrocketed. And your religion also needs you. So how do you balance? I'm going to share with you something which I found from the traditions of Ahlillbait. And personally, I practice it. And I share with so many people. What's your name? Hassan. Lovely, Hassan. How old are you, bro? If you don't mind. 18. So that's a good question you're asking. It requires time management and discipline. But how you do it? You need to make sure in your life you take care of 4 major needs. 4. When I say 4 needs, it doesn't mean that the way you take care of the needs are equal, maybe 50%. No, one will take chunk of time in your life, which, you know, I will indicate to that. I mean, in life, we all have 4 needs. So make sure whatever you do, you take care of this one. If you don't, then you are not a person of purpose from Ahlillbait perspective. What's the first need? Physical need. Money. You need money. But not to be absorbed to dunya. Not to be attached to dunya. So maybe if you are studying like your age, I'm sure you are studying. So that is that physical need. Maybe you work this job, that's your physical need. That may take maybe 8 hours every day. You know, especially doctors, I'm sure they take, I don't know how many hours, man. Dr. Wasim. So your physical need is crucial. So maybe when you go home, try to draw a timetable with this. Second need is your social need. So first hajatun maddi, second hajatun ijtimai. Social need. You need to hang out with your friends. Social media a little bit, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. But that's not alone, innit? In the UK they say innit. But that's not alone. So physical need has its own time. It's done. In a day, 5 hours. In a day, 6 hours. After that, close the chapter. My social need, maybe 1 hour in a day, 2 hours in a day, depending. Because family, friends, we chat. The third need, you know what is that? Intellectual need. Hajjatun akli. You need to read. You're not only making money. You're not only socializing with your friends. Snapchat, Madri, Instagram, Madri, WhatsApp. I don't know Allah Madri. There are so many of those things. You do, but you need to be mindful that no, I need to take care of the other needs. You know what's the last need? Spiritual, mystical needs. So all these needs are managed by your spiritual need. So spiritual need, of course, your salah will take some time during the day, but go extra. Quran every day. Habibi, don't allow a day without at least a verse of the Quran. Although Prophet tells us every day 10 verses. But our scholars said, look, if for whatever reason beyond your control, you can't allow a day to pass without at least a verse of the Holy Quran. And then if you are able to do by the Salat al-Layl, even the shorter form, Shafi and Witr. So these are the needs. So you draw a plan. Every day I'm going to try my level best. You will see, inshallah, you'll manage. So community, you will come a little bit. Even if 30 minutes you give community in a week, it's more than enough, Habibi. Don't burn out, inshallah. Thank you. Bless you.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Thank you for the lecture. It was very enlightening.
Thank you.
I have a question regarding a part of the ayah in the Quran that says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. So here we're also using the word nafis, but is anfusihim, it seems to me that it's referring to every individual in a community.
Yeah.
But how do we kind of spark that change within each individual from, being an entire community made of multiple people?
No, that's a very powerful ayah you've just quoted, my dear sister. Definitely this nafs is a very powerful one. It begins with an individual. So there's something here inside. If you can't remove it, forget about any change. Because you see, somebody may ask you this simple question. Man huwa al-insan? Who is insan? And there are so many discussions really among scholars on this, by the way. When they define insan, they said insan is Suratul Mu'minun, verse 15. ثُمَّ أَنشَأْنَاهُ خَلْقًا آخَرَ. Allah talks about how we are created from clay to liquid, from liquid to this transformation. Towards the end, Allah says, ثُمَّ أَنشَأْنَاهُ خَلْقًا آخَرَ. Then we initiated it, a different creation. Or we initiated him, referring to insan. What is that creation? Soul. So all this will come later on. Allah will blow the soul in. So soul is insan. Ansha'nahu khalqan akhar. Now, how do you inspire a person looking at this ayah? Insan is a soul made up of the following faculties, and each faculty is in constant change. What's the first faculty? Heart, qalb. You qalb. Qalb, from the word taqlib, taqallab, changes. Of course, heart doesn't change by growing bigger or smaller. From the mystical perspective, it changes by becoming pure or dirty. So why do you don't want to change? That's the first faculty of insan. Because insan is this soul, roh. Around this roh, you have the heart. That's number one. The other dimension of insan faculty is zaman. Time. Time changes. Habibi, why are you not changing? You can't avoid. In Allah, you have to change. Time is changing. The third faculty is makan. Makan, place is also changing. And then the other one is what? Akal. This akal is changed. حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. This akal matures. Your akal is different from that of these young children. So it's changing. Why are you not changing? And the last faculty is this body. Body also changes. So insan, in essence, is a changeable personality. Anyone who just routine. Of course, if it's positive routine, fine, but you can't all the whole 50 years of Islam is only Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, no Salat al-Layl. There must be a bit of change. You eat barbecue every day. No, you change, you go to that other food, kema, and then stuff like that. So changes are very important. So the way to encourage people, by quoting this, I said, no, you are a soul around your faculties, and each of these faculty is constantly changing. If you do not change, then you are doing the service to these faculties given to us by Allah. I hope it's useful. Thank you. Any other question? Before I ask you my questions.
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Alaikum salam, Habibi.
Thank you very much for your enlightening speech and lecture about communities. So actually we are all focusing right now on the communities and within our community. But we as a community, we have also to have interaction with other communities. So I think if you could highlight that one, that will be a good thing, especially in these days that we see what is going on with other communities and how we could support those, our people. Actually, the ayah you remembered, the ayah you mentioned had to remind me of وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ, for who uses that ayah. So I remembered that question from that ayah. Thank you. Jazakallah.
No, thank you so much. I think this is a very important question. We cannot progress without engaging with other communities. But for that to work properly, first step, we need to be organized ourselves. And I'll share you some of my personal experiences. So you have interfaiths and you have intrafaiths. So we start with intrafaith. Intrafaith is with our Shias and Muslims. We need unity. Majority of the Muslims are okay with us. Only few harmful are sort of not okay, but currently even politically they are trying to be okay. You understand what I mean? But majority of the Muslims, alhamdulillah. But those who used to call us kafir, now they are okay. Because politically they want money. That's why today you go Umrah, Hajj, there's no problem. Of course, they change the system in the West. But when you are there, nobody tells you Shia this, Shia that. It's over. So intrafaith is crucial. Milad and Nabi we share in common with majority of the Muslims. So it's the challenge of the community to go out there and have sort of unity with other Muslims. Because you see, the world, they don't say Shia, Sunni. They say Muslims. They say Muslims. So I give an example where I'm coming from. I'm coming from Birmingham, UK. So Birmingham has like majority of the Muslims in the country. It's a lot of Muslims there. Shias, we are few. We are the minority of the minorities. We have about 6 centers. Sunnis have more than 100 centers around. Big. It's big. They have so many schools, more than 30 schools. The Sunnis. Shias, of course, don't have even one. So that's another discussion for another day. But then government there, in each and every city council, they've got what is called a standing advisory council on religious education. Because, UK religious education is a compulsory subject, across the country. So every city council, they select team of educators, politicians, and religious leaders to advise government on the religious curriculum. So they approach Muslims. Where? Shia? No, they go to the Main Sunni centers. You now select your body. Church of England are coming. Catholic are coming. Jews are coming. Politicians will be there. You are going to be this team to be in charge of religious education. Of course, we got to know it because it was news, but now where to start? Because this some years ago, we didn't have like strong relationship with anyone. Where to start? Nobody knew our presence. So alhamdulillah, like in the Jamaat, there were some few people who came to me, they said, no, we need to do something, Sheikh. So we wrote to the city council. They said, no. You are Muslim here. There is Muslim body. You can come to us. Muslim, you have to go to the Muslims. You can come to us. So we went to them. They said, no, Shia. No, Shia. And then we tried our level best. Interfaith, Milad and Nabi would invite dear sheikhs, come speak before I speak. We changed that. I was co-opted in the team. In fact, currently I'm in charge of the Quran in the whole city council. I'm in charge of Quran, but the Sunnis are many. But currently, when it comes to anything that they teach our children in the schools in Birmingham City Council, Quran, I gave all the Quran verses. All. So it's very, very important to interact. Otherwise, they will decide for you. Like if in Canada you have NCCA, what's the name? Alhamdulillah, we have few of our Shia brothers, they few, but these are majority are Sunnis. You need to try to find your space somewhere. Otherwise, somebody will sit around the table and decide for you. That's very important. I know Shia sometimes we want to be in the cocoon of our centers. Religion is not in these four corners alone. Here is like, what do you call it? It's a place where you learn. It's like the ICU. Whatever you get there, take it there, out and represent the Shia. So that's interfaith. We have intrafaith. That's intrafaith. Interfaith with our non-Muslims, with your Christian brothers, if you have them. You have to, with Hindus, with Sikhs. There are things you share in common. You can just invite them for a program, come and share something, I share something. That's it. You create awareness about religion that you all subscribe to. It's so important. I know it can be hard, but definitely we cannot operate in silos. We need to ensure that we reach out to one another. Meeting alone, having a cup of tea, talking is crucial because the world is changing dramatically and drastically. And we cannot continue to doing the same thing and expect the same results. It doesn't work out that way. Today, our sons and daughters, some of them are friends who are not Muslims. Some of them are friends who are not Shias. So with dialogue, no, another way is academia. So we do that. I don't know here much, but in the UK, any university around, you can write to them, look, I want to visit. Maulana come visit, community leaders come visit. No, we are Shias. We want to share some books with you about Shias. We can have a discussion just to create awareness. Like Muharram, for example, it's not just the majlis. You want to create awareness academically about Shia. It's so important and it helps a lot. And you know, some of you know, I'm sure Brother Jawad and some of you know. So one thing we did in our community to, like, when it comes to interfaith, you know, during COVID-19, our mosque was the first mosque in the entire UK to be transformed into a vaccination center. It was a challenge, but not everybody believed in vaccination. But we did that because we wanted our presence to be felt. So I definitely agree with you. We cannot just operate alone. We need to do something. Yeah. Any question? Habibi. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, definitely. It will not happen overnight. It's like raising a child. It's like raising a child. To present your community with not just a child, a productive and useful child. The same thing applies to building a community. Maybe some of us sitting here may not live to see that happening. Maybe children will come after us, will see that. But it has to start somewhere. Where does it start? Having serious heart-to-heart conversation. We sit like we have so like we have so many organizations. You invite the leaders. I'm sure maybe you did this before. Let's have conversation. What is it that we can do in common? Yes, everybody operating in the center, fine. But now let's come. This is a bigger picture. We want to solidify our unity as lovers and followers of Ahlillbait. Have conversation. So I give an example of Birmingham. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we never had anything like that. People come one Juma, but everybody goes his way. There was nothing. Those from the Pakistani community, fine. The Khojas, mashallah, they're doing their own thing. Iraqis, they're doing their Shakumaku, they're doing their own thing. Everybody was busy. Iranians, Chitori, Hubi, everybody's going. Everybody is just operating. But each center was very active. Hey, mashallah. So, some of the youth came to me. They said, Sheikh, man, we're not happy. Youth. I said, what's up? He said, look, we have so many, we come here Juma together, but there is nothing we doing in common. So I gave a Juma khutbah. Second khutbah, I said, look, we've been here for many years, but we've never done a program together. So immediately our Jamaat office took initiative. They wrote letters to all the Jamaat. They said, send us 2 representatives. So we had a meeting. And the meeting was, what can we do together for the bigger picture? Alhamdulillah, from that, it created youth committee for all organizations and Maulanas for all the organizations we have. And when there is a major issue, we come together, we discuss, we go out with one voice. So it has to start with serious conversation. I know sometimes it's hard. Somebody said, my center, I don't know, my center, they're going to change me. Nobody's going to change you. But we need to start that conversation. Because you see, the children of these children, they've got a different worldview, Habibi. I'm telling you. Children, these children, the youth, they have a different worldview. The views are not necessarily the views that most of the elders have. They have this view of, look, we can interact and associate with anyone. So the earlier we work around that, the better. That doesn't mean that you don't operate in your own zone. Of course, everybody has his own culture, one way or the other. You have to have that feeling also. But then we need to look at the bigger picture. So bottom line, start that conversation. Let the leaders come together. So what we do every year in Muharram, we have Hussein Summit. I don't know whether you heard of this. Our host of Hussein Summit is Mahdi Hassan. We invite him every year in Birmingham. Every year. And we invite, people pay. But this is organized by all the Shias in Birmingham. Non-Muslim. So our target is on non-Shias and non-Muslim. So 600 we cater for. 500 are all non-Shia. 100 are only Shias. And we have it nicely, not political, nothing political. But we discuss Imam Hussein and we invite non-Muslims to speak also. And then we say, Mahdi Hassan. Mahdi Hassan is our host every year. Wallahi, when Muharram comes, I remember COVID, we didn't do it. People kept calling me, non-Muslims. When is the Hussein Summit? And next year we are doing. And our youth also have their annual youth conference. All the Jamaat, they come, proper conference. They invite speakers from all over the speak. So this is very important for in going forward, Habibi. And you have a lot of expertise here. I'm sure you'll be able to. In the UK said you'll smash it. You'll smash it, bro. Smash it. Okay.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for this lecture. I had a question and it was more philosophical, but I'm just going to put it out there and see if there's an answer. So you said that a community is supposed to bring tranquility of the mind and having each other's back. But how are we expected to do so and to attain such community, even if like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't? He was never mentally tranquil with if the community was going to listen to his commands about Imam Ali's waliya. he couldn't even be tranquil enough for his own daughter, Fatima al-Zahra. So how are we, normal people, supposed to attain such community?
Good question.
With that. So, yeah.
Prophet achieved it in style. Imam Ali achieved it in style. Imam Ali, they smashed it. They smashed it. Quran says, Ruhama ubaynahum. Allah begins with Muhammadur Rasulullah. Awalladina amanu ma'ahu ashiddau alal kufar ruhama ubaynahum. So Allah said, Muhammad, then he said the messenger. Those who believe in him, I mean, truly believe in him, yeah, they are strong against their enemies, but they were merciful to one another. So obviously, if you look at it on a bigger scale, you'll say no, nothing. But no, you're looking at people like Salman al-Farisi, Mikdad, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari. You look at it, oh, they achieved it in style. They were happy. Islam got propagated properly. Hence, Prophet said, have I delivered the message or not? Alastu awla bil mu'min. They said, oh yes, you did. But of course, the hypocrites among them, they never believed right from the word. So Amirul Mu'minin, the same thing. Amirul Mu'minin, my dear sister, he smashed it also. Yes, he moved to Kufa because in Medina, they were not welcoming. They still had this animosity because Imam Ali obviously dealt with their forefathers, you know, during Badr and other battles. So they were not happy. They knew Imam Ali was very powerful, very strong. But because of that animosity, you know, that tribalistic racism they had, it was still there. So what happened? Imam Ali had to move to Kufa for 4 years, 7 months. But there's never been an Islamic state than that. Of course, Prophet, number one, Imam Ali. But look at the group that Imam Ali assembled. You look at their names. They were so happy. To say Imam Ali would go and sit and help Maisam sell the dates. Maisam al-Tammar, he would sell the dates. Imam Ali will take the money and then give him the date, which is too, you know, the sour, very bitter date. The gentleman will go. Maisam came back. He said, hey, have you made some money? Imam Ali said, yes, I made some money. Imam Ali gave the money. He said, but this money is no more in circulation in town. Luckily, the one who bought the date, they said, no, this date is not nice when he brought it back. So they were happy. But those who didn't want to believe, the same thing. So the same thing applies to us in this day and age. You know, it is said, you can't please everyone. It's impossible. Some people is black, they will tell you it's blue. Even if you bring a malaika, they will say it's blue. So you can't please everyone. But there are good people. You can achieve that. Yeah, you can. Obviously, the challenges are also beauty. That's why I said, as Zainab said, I've seen nothing but beauty. You will say they were disturbed. No, they were happy. But the aim is God. When aim is God, you see beauty in everything. So inshallah, you try now. There are people you will achieve, inshallah. Inshallah.
Khatam Mohammed, sorry, one more question?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Khatam Mohammed.
Okay, and then Maulana want to say something after that. Yeah, inshallah. Okay, mashallah, Maulana. Asante Sayyidina.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for inspiring us with an amazing lecture. My question is more, so when I grew up in my teenage years, I questioned a lot two things that are fundamental to my life right now, but education, you know, traditional education, school, and religion. Alhamdulillah, my family influenced me and made it difficult to let go of those two things. But in this day and age, how do you think is the most impactful or effective way to instill those two priorities in the life of our teenage youth?
Ahsantum. Definitely is the worry, or if you like, challenge of every parent to ensure that they give their children two worlds, secular and religious education. So I'm going to share with you some practical tips. I don't know the circumstance here, but this will be a general, you know, I know the UK situation more. There are challenges in the world education as we speak. So the world education, be it here, be it UK, everywhere, you get absorbed towards a certain direction. Of course, you'll get the secular, you'll go to uni, you'll become a professional. But the chances of you losing your religious identity is too high. For me, the first step to this is to have your own school, if possible. Because if you have your own community school, like the way they have, I don't know, like the way they have in Toronto. You know, Toronto, they have a Sadiq, they've got Wali Asr, and other places. That makes life a bit easier. Because they are doing the secular there, and religious is there. Like today, I was at a Sadiq, and I gave a talk on the Shahada of Sayyidah Fatima. 800 children were sitting. And 3 days ago also, I went, and I gave a lecture also about Sayyidah Fatima, like 1 hour. It's part of their curriculum. Sayyidah Jafar used to be in charge of the religious affairs. So that's, but not everybody will be able to have his own school. What's the second one? Second one is to get involved in the school where your children are studying. Can become a parent governor if you have that here. Parent teacher association. Some parents, they hardly attend school meetings, so they don't know what's going on. And I don't know here, but where I'm coming from, fathers don't do well as that. But fathers, they are chilling. They're chilling. In most cases, women go attend. You need to know the teacher of your children. You need to know what they've been taught. At least you are going to that school. So it will help you to understand the school environment, and then you can play your part in the house also. That's very, very important. So get involved. Don't just send them and pay whatever you want to pay, and you have no clue of what's going on. No, get involved. That's another way. Another way of getting involved is homeschooling, which is not available for everyone, though. It's difficult. I know how homeschooling is not easy. One has to stop working, and the other one has to make some good money to support the other one. Homeschooling, those who have opted for homeschooling, is difficult. But there are schools like Wali Asr in Toronto and other places. They have also online where they can connect to you, and they are doing very well. I know, I'm from Ghana. My country is Ghana. I know in Ghana, Shias who are starting with Wali Asr, and they are doing extremely well. Wallahi al-azim. Online. I didn't know Wali Asr, they have it online until I went to Ghana. I met my friends. They told me we're paying a lot of money, but we've seen differences in our children. Otherwise, let them go to the school. Obviously, the public school of any place is challenging public school. Because whatever you get for free, you need to also expect some side effect. And the side effect of free is more. Private school, a little bit, because you're paying a lot of money. Yeah. But not everybody can afford a private school. So let them go to the public school. But you, as a father or as a mother, this I've learned it in psychology. Every day, you have to spend quality time with your children. So husband and wife, you have to do that also, by the way. But what do I mean by quality time? So you say to your wife, or to your husband, whichever comes first. Today, so you say you have your plan, your timetable. Quality time is yours. Maybe yours will be tomorrow. How do you do? You are not going to hold your phone. She can have her phone, but that timing is hers. Whatever discussion she wants to do is hers. You time it 10 minutes or 20 minutes, done. You have to pay unconditional attention to her. So that's how we do with children. You come back from work, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, phone somewhere else. You attention with that child, even this young girl who is here, a baby. Let her play, jump on you. This is her time. That's what we call quality. You know what you're doing? You're instilling your love in them. If you want to see, may Allah forbid, that parent is a failure, it's when your child grows and starts hiding things from you. Hiding what? You are the last person they share things with you. You are in trouble. You know what causes that? When you don't spend time with them. So with the girl child, when they clock in teenager, they need their father more. They need father hugs. You don't give them, they will look for an alternative somewhere. You have to be very careful. I know many fathers don't spend time with their daughters. They will look for it on social media or at school. So that stage is crucial. You need to spend time. Look at Prophet and Sayyidah Fatima. Spend quality time with them. So for me, timing is critical. Spend time with them. Instill those values in them. Spending time with them doesn't mean you teach them always. No. But build that confidence. Wallahi, once you are able to build that, you will see in future. When you advise them, they take. Even if they challenge, eventually they will take. But if you not spend time with me, you only give him money, school. And I give you this one example. You know, there's a sheikh. He's way higher than me. I am his student. I can't mention his name. I'm sure some of you know him. He's a very famous senior scholar in the UK. One day I was traveling with him to Australia. I was going to give majalis. He was going to do some workshops. Different centers. We just happened to meet on flight. So if he left his seat, he came and sat next to me. He said, I have an advice for you. He said to me. I said, okay. Do you spend time with your children? I said, I try. I travel a lot, but I try. He said, okay, before it's too late, I have an advice for you. I said, okay, for that Sheikhana. He said, look, I have 3 children. 2 daughters, 1 boy. I never spent time with them, Sheikh. Traveling, money, top-notch school, nice house, nice car, everything. He said, my son reached 17 years and I tried to spend time with him. Whenever I try, he wouldn't budge. My daughter should come back from school. I would see something bothering her. She wouldn't tell me until her mother would come back and she would confide with the mother. And she would tell my mother, don't tell my father. He said, but Sheikh, I've been looking after them. He said, until one day my son looked at me and he said to me, I realize you want to spend time with me. You've lost me. The father said, how? He said, yes. You've been home. Money, no problem. Laptop, iPad, no problem. But you never spend time with me. You're busy with your life. You come, you want to watch your football. You want to go your majlis. You've lost me. He said, look, I try to spend time with you, but my heart is telling me my friends. Children, you know, as young as they are, you have to. Otherwise, the type of world we are living in, things will be bothering them. Boyfriend, girlfriend, bullying at school, they will not tell you. Online, chatting with somebody, they will not tell you. But when you have strong relationship, wallah, you will be the first person they will come to you. As I said, mothers doing well. Fathers, obviously, they are soldiers and bulldozers. They shout too much, so sometimes the children run away. I'm not saying all fathers, but we need to try to spend time with them. Travel with them. Spend quality time with them. If you don't do that, you'll chew your finger. Wallahi al-Azim. I've seen that. And this Maulana, even up to now, is crying. So let's try, inshallah. Let's try. Let's try. Now, Maulana.
Thank you very much for coming and giving such a good lecture and summarizing a very important topic related to the community. One thing which I observed, and I would like your comments on it, when we are talking about the way we received this religion, and now our children are going to receive it, there's a lot of change. Definitely our fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers did not receive that religion like we received.
Absolutely.
So there's a changing period going on. But what I observed is when we talk about the change, we started changing the foundation on which we established this religion. Rather than changing ourselves, we are trying to change the foundation by which we established this religion for the last 1200, 1400 years. As a Shia Islam, I'm talking about. Those rituals, for example, those community meetings for us. So we are trying to change it, at least the atmosphere, and making it more comfortable for our young listeners to come. But somehow what I observe that the centers are empty. And that young generation is not coming because we changed the foundation. So what do you advise by keeping that the word change,
Yeah.
and keeping the foundation same as well.
No, thank you so much, Sayyidina Al-Aziz. I think what you've just mentioned is very important. So if you look at our organizations, I'm pretty sure you face with the same challenge here. We have serious disintegration between the older generation and the younger generation. Older generations want something, younger generation wants something else. You hardly see them sitting together and discussing things. You know, one thing before I comment on what Sedna mentioned, there are differences between the two generations. This current generation, they call them Jilu Ittisal. Older generation, Jil Tawasul. What does it mean? You know, current generation, they can make 1,000 friends in a day without knowing them. How many people you have on your social media? You don't know them. You've never met them in your life. You're just connecting them socially, online. But our older generation, no, they made friends physically. That's why maybe from Iraq or from India or from Pakistan, you've not seen the person maybe 10, 20 years. The day you see him is like, you've just established a relationship. So that's one. Something we need to bear in mind when it comes to current and the older generation. Number two, feature. You know, current generation, they are too inquisitive. I'm sure those who have been young children, everything they ask you, why? Older generation, they were not asking too much whys. So it's so important. Meaning, current generation, Jil Aksar Intikadan. They inquire and they attack like in a positive way. I'm not convinced, Sheikh. Sheikh, I'm not convinced. You need to convince me. Because of the nature of the world we are living in. Everything is on phone. So I believe community leaders also need to appreciate that. Now, how do we go forward, Sayyidina Al-Aziz? Then we come back to the foundation. We need hawar, dialogue. With the younger generation, what I've seen said now, monologue doesn't work much. Like I sit, I talk, that alone doesn't work. But I am a firm believer when it comes to Muharram, Fatimiyya, we need to maintain the tradition. We have to sit. But then we need to be mindful of the fact that we have to do something like this also, which I'm happy you are doing, like question back and forth is crucial. Because they're going to ask you. I'm sure, Said, you've received this question so many times. Why are we doing matter? Lot of here. They go to school, their friends ask them. Now, if I come and tell them, no, the tradition says it. Of course, tradition says it, no, fine, siratul mutashari'ah, fine. But they want logical answers. And then, of course, another, differences is that this is a social media era. Instant gratification said now. They want quick things to happen. They are not patient. They are not patient. And that's not their fault. It's what the world presents them with. The education they are getting, everything. So they are in a hurry. You want to talk for 2 hours, they don't have time for 2 hours. Give me the punchlines. I need to go, Sheikh. Just give me the punchlines. So the way I do, I use my children to gauge this, by the way. So I've got teenagers and I've got some babies. So I use the teenagers. I've got 2 teenagers. That's how I used to gauge. What's the problem? One of them is going to university now. So I gauge that. It's very dangerous. Seriously dangerous. I'm talking of my daughter. I'm not talking of anyone else. So my daughter, she's going to university, first year. She came back after first 2 months. They had a midterm holiday. Questions. She met different people. Sunnis, Christians, atheists. Why do you pray like this? Why like this? And she found herself at one point the only Shia in her class. So it's very difficult for the young ones. Tradition has to be maintained, but this is the point said now. We must maintain. So we have foundation. We cannot sacrifice our foundation. For me, what are the foundations? Ahlillbait are ma'sumin. For me, it's a foundation. Number 2 foundation, tawassul. Yes, I need to justify with you. I don't have a problem. But tawassul, for me, is the foundation of school of thought of Ahlillbait. Seeking the intercession of Ahlillbait. Shafa on the day of Qiyamah. For me, these are fun. If you're telling me don't do tawassul, don't recite dua tawassul, don't shafa of Ahlillbait, then I've got a problem. Ahlillbait are not my, but yes, it is my duty and responsibility to justify with you logically before even I go to God. So I'm going to give you my example. You know, I'm a resident imam, as they speak, they said, of a Jamaat in the UK. Majority, 80%, 90% of them are Khojas. Yeah. I've been there for the past 7 years. So recently, like 2 years ago, after COVID, I had a meeting with the team, the management committee, the leaders. I told them, look, I've got a different view, man, on how to run the community now. They asked me how. I said, you see, I think we're making a mistake. I said to them. They said, what do you mean? I said, you know, our barometer, whether we are successful or not during Majalis, is the number. I said, I think that's wrong. I told them, of course, Jamaat, they're spending money, number, everybody. They said, what do you mean, Sheikh? I said, look, Muharram, whoever you put on member, you'll have a number. Of course, you need somebody with material, but even you can put anyone there. Muharram. No, bro, no big deal. The day of Ashura, you can put anyone. Just put anyone there. You don't have to invite anyone. It will be part because it's sentimental, it's traditional, which is crucial. The day of the Shahada of Sayyidah Fatima, it will be packed. I told them, look, this, I'm not talking of this. You are expecting people to come on Thursday in number. It's not possible. I said, look, me, I'm an imam. If I wasn't an imam, I don't think every Thursday I will come. They asked me why. I said, look, I've got children, school drop. I finish sometimes 8 p.m. I take my abba, I rush into the member. Can you imagine others? It's not easy. There are those who work 3 jobs. I'm not discouraging people to come. I will tell you my qualification of this. No. They work 8 hours in a day. They finish 7. Take transport. Lecture start 8 p.m. They've not cooked yet. Children are going to school tomorrow, 7 a.m. I said, look, so don't expect miracle to happen. Big night people will come. I said, with the old people, with the elders, this majlis, whether Thursday or what, it works with them all. With the youth, we must have constant workshops. That has to be integral part of our program. Workshop. It's so important. Workshop, you can have workshop like this. Because then it's not every week, but every month you have something for the youth. Discuss the love of Ahlillbait, because we need to instill the true love of Ahlillbait. They must be ready to die for the cause of Ahlillbait. So workshops for me, for the youth, is so important. But even more importantly, I was telling them, children, you know, wherever I've been, I heard this, but I've not heard it here. But wherever I've been, I heard. Youth problem. True. Now, if we don't capture the children, when these children become youth, we're going to be the same problem. That's why if you ask me, what is the most important aspect of community? Children. Children tabligh. So if you look like Birmingham, it's not only Birmingham, I think Stanmore and other places. All program we have apparel. While the elders are busy, children are also having workshops. Every program, even now Thursday in Birmingham, we have apparel program. Before people were not coming Thursday, but now parents, because of the children, they are all attending Thursday program. But children is not like monologue like this workshop. Depending on their age, you have different. It's like madrasa. All the wiladat of Ahlillbait and shahadat, wallahi, we have parallel program with children. All, non-exception. All, Habibi. Because I've understood the youth, Baba, they go through mortgage, they need their first house. Where they gonna get? Because this is what Allah Akbar, dunya is too much. Dunya is absorbing everyone. So we need to find a way to be productive and creative and attract them to the deen. Go Umrah, take the youth. Maulana, lead the youth. Let's go Umrah. 1 week, 2 weeks. Wallah. Go Ziyara, 1 week, 2. Take the youth. Have something like that. I found that helping a lot in instilling the love of Ahlillbait in them. Mosque, yeah, mosque, they will come, but not the way you will like. But workshops, camps, camp. Once a year camp. You can all come as community. Camp. Maulana or another sheikh, come, you lead. You take them weekend, Friday later, Saturday, Sunday, you are back Sunday night. Camp. I found that appealing to our youth more. And when you go to a camp or Umrah with them, you are with them 24/7. You are able to instill that love. So I think our communities in general, we need to change our style. And that's why I said the imminent challenge we face is what?